back to tenor guitar time. This week, let's take a look at the blues scale using A7, D7, and E7. Blues scale progression. Now, there are literally thousands of songs, rock and blues, that use these chords or a similar one in various configurations. So it's really common and really useful to learn your way around this sort of progression. Let me show you the chord forms that I was using in the beginning. Here's the A major chord. And then I was shuffling from that to the A7. And the only difference there is one note by lifting up your third finger. So I'm more used to fingering this major chord like this, so I go to it naturally first, and then I bar across. And then once I bar, after that I'm just lifting up my third finger off and on. And you can do that same thing up here on the 10th fret for the D major and the D7th. Then back to A7. E7. D7. Back to A7. E7 for the turnaround. And to the top. Practice moving those shapes around into different keys. Play in B major, B7. You can use those anywhere you want. Now let's talk about playing melodies or riffs with this kind of progression using the blues scale. Anyway, I kind of prefer players that use fewer notes and concentrate on the groove or the feel of the melody, primarily more than speed. So I would suggest when you start making your riffs and jams, your little solos, keep your phrasing to 2 or 3 notes, maybe 4, and play around with those, really thinking of the rhythm and the groove that you're playing as your first priority. So here, let me show you the notes of the blues major scale that I was using. So here's our A chord. So the A major blues. There's our 1. And then you're back to the A. And we also have this second note right here. And you can, of course, figure out notes to extend it up, but for today, I just want to keep it really localized to where the chords are. And of course, you can do that exact same pattern if you play this D on the 10th fret. And you could also do that up here on the E7, but I wanted to show you different location for the E7. So if we're keeping it kind of in our same ballpark down here, here's our E7 chord. So this scale, you can do it in a couple of ways. For this beginning lesson, I'm going to use the same shape that I'm going to use on the D7 down here. So I've included a few extra notes on the charts that you can add on later when you get better at it. And we can do that same pattern when we slide down to the D7 in the first position. But our open string is now our 1, our root note. like to emphasize the 7th note, which is not typically in the blues scale. The major blues scale usually is the 1, the 2, the flat 3 to the 3, which is the notes close together there. The 5, 6, and then back to 1. So the 7th isn't usually in there, but since I like to really anchor my melodies to the chords, so I also add in the 7th note occasionally. All right, so a simple strategy for making up a solo and playing through the whole progression, like I was saying earlier, just choose 2 or 3 notes and make up a pattern, and then when you shift between chords, you can do a similar pattern when you shift up to the D, which will give your melody a little cohesiveness. All right, so, and what I was doing was just really staying on the chord notes right here. So what's that, 4 notes? So that was one riff I was doing, just right there in the chord, but making sure I'm playing in the groove. Whoops. That's another strategy idea, is to start your phrase, the first 3 notes or 4 notes, and then just change your ending note. So it sounds like you're doing more than you are. And then maybe next time it comes back to the A7th, I might focus on the higher 4 notes right here. E7. Thanks for joining me on Tenor Guitar Time. There's your beginning blues, progression, and melody ideas in the Chicago tuning. If you're finding these lessons useful and helpful, please subscribe below for more free tenor guitar lessons, and let's keep practicing.